Good morning, students. I think you are fit and fine and you are very safe inside your house. Dear students, today in the English class I am going to teach you a story from your course book, and that is from chapter 5. What is the story? The heading is The Guest. The heading of the story is Guest, and this is written by Uma Krishna Swami, and the writer is a female. Okay? This story is all about Mullah Nasiruddin. You have heard lot of stories, not story actually, they are funny stories. You have heard lot of funny stories and not heard, I think some of you have read some of the funny stories of Mullah Nasiruddin. So here is one of the funny stories. And this story is written, that means not written, retold by Uma Krishna Swami, and that is given in our book. She is an Indian author of picture books. Picture books means the book which has lot of pictures and illustrations. Okay, and novels. She used to write novels also. For whom? For children. And a writing teacher. She was a writing teacher. Okay, that means she used to give writing to the students and other members. Now she was born in 1956 in New Delhi, and she is still alive. Okay, books. She has written so many books. Among the books I have written just 3: The Broken Task, book Uncle and Me, Step Up to the Plate. So these are the most notable books she has written. Okay, she has got so many awards. Among those I have written 4: Scientific Young American Award, Crossword Book Award, Scholastic Asian Book Award, Asian Pacific American Award. So these are a lot of awards she has received. Now I am coming to the story. The story has mainly 2 characters: Mullah Nasiruddin, one character, and second character, a rich man. Okay. Now storyline. So what is the story? In short, I have written here: host. Opposite of guest is host. Okay. Opposite of guest is host. So host did not recognize Nasiruddin. So host did not recognize Nasiruddin in shabby dress. Shabby means not looking good. Shabby means not looking good. That means maybe dirty, maybe torn. Okay, maybe fade. So when Mullah Nasiruddin went to his host's house, now the host did not recognize him as a guest. Okay, and did not recognize Mullah Nasiruddin as because he was poorly dressed, he was shabbily dressed. Okay, when he wore finery means very good dress. Okay, when he means Mullah Nasiruddin, when he wore finery, the host showed all means of hospitality. When Mullah Nasiruddin was dressed in fine clothes, then the host recognized Mullah Nasiruddin, and whatever means he had for Nasiruddin, he did that. That means he showed lot of hospitality. Hospitality means caring. Okay. Nasiruddin fed his dress, for which he got respect and good dishes. So now Nasiruddin did what? In the house of the host, he just did not eat anything. He just fed his clothes, good garments. Why? Because for these garments he was received, he was welcomed, and he was given good dish and honor. That's why he thought that honor, respect, good dish, all is for those beautiful dresses. That's why he just fed his dresses. Okay. Host realized his foolishness. Now the host realized that he did mistake and he was foolish, he was stupid. Now host realized. Okay, and promised never to judge anybody by wear. Now the host was very much ashamed. He promised Mullah Nasiruddin that he will never judge any person by that person's look, that person's dress. Okay, so this is the promise from that host for that person. Now we have learned one lesson, moral lesson, that is very very important lesson. What is that? Never to judge a person by his garments. So don't judge a person by his garment, that means by his wear, by his clothes. So this is very foolish act. Okay, so when a crow wear the feathers of peacock, the crow does not become peacock, and when the peacock just wears the feathers of crow, that peacock does not become crow. So garment cannot make a people wise, garment cannot make a people learned. Okay, so garment is nothing. Now coming to the story. The story is very very important for your test and examinations. Okay, there are a lot of difficult words. I have written everything for you in my copy, and I will send through snaps, no matter of worriness. Okay, now coming to the story directly. Nasruddin is a legendary character who appears in many Central Asian folk tales. So there are so many stories about Nasruddin in Central Asia. Okay, and Nasruddin is a legendary person, legendary character. Legendary means, that means his stories is handed down from generation to generation. Okay, so his story is handed down from ancient time till now. So that is legend. Okay, he solves life's problem with a mixture of foolishness, wit and wisdom. And whatever problem comes in life, Nasruddin solves them with foolishness, that means stupidity, then with wit, which means wisdom, and wit and wisdom same thing. Okay, wit and wisdom same thing. So Nasruddin solves all types of problem with his stupidity and with his wisdom. Okay, now Mullah Nasruddin was a wise man. Wise means learned person. When he spoke, people listened. So whenever Mullah Nasruddin spoke anything, people listened. That means people were forced to listen. They are very much charmed, attracted by Nasruddin's speech. And so he chose his words and actions as carefully as kings chose their generals. When a king selects his commander, that means the head of the soldiers, he just takes in consideration so many factors, not only by appearance and power, he takes into consideration so many aspects. And like the kings who selects their general with much of judgment and consideration, so Nasruddin, whenever told anything to the people, he selected words in such a manner that people liked those words. He selected some activities that people liked them. So Nasruddin was very much selective with words and actions, and as because he was selective, people loved him, people respected him, people listened him whatever he told. Okay, one day a rich man invited the mullah to feast at his house. Now one day a rich man invited Mullah Nasruddin to a feast. Feast means a celebration. Okay, celebration, and where there will be dinner. Okay, so now Mullah was invited. I would be honored, Mullah Sahib, said he, if you would grace us with your presence tomorrow night. Mullah Sahib, if you come tomorrow night to the dinner, so I'll be very much pleased if you come. That person said to Mullah Nasruddin. That person invited Mullah Nasruddin to the dinner, and he told that he will be much delighted, he will be pleased if Mullah Nasruddin comes to the dinner party. Okay, I'll come, agreed Mullah Nasruddin, tomorrow night. So Mullah Nasruddin said that he will come tomorrow night to join the dinner party, and this was promised from Mullah Nasruddin. Okay, the following night the mullah threw on his shabbiest and most comfortable clothes And next night, when he was he was about to go to the party, Mullah Nasiruddin just put on the shabbiest but comfortable of clothes. So whatever clothes Mullah Nasiruddin was wore, that was not good looking, but that was comfortable for Mullah Nasiruddin. Okay. It is a bit chilly, he said, and added an old black coat, as because that time it was very cold. So Mullah Nasiruddin added one particular coat, okay, over that garment, over that most comfortable clothes, and that was old black coat. That means that coat was also not new, that coat was not good looking, but it was comfortable for Mullah Nasiruddin. Okay. The edges of its shirt sleeves were frayed, and whatever clothes he wore, the edges of the shirt sleeves means this part, this part is called sleeve. The edges means the sides. Okay, the edges of the sleeves were what? Were frayed. Frayed means torn. Okay. The holes in its elbows were patched. So in the position of the elbows there were holes, and those were repaired. Patched means repaired. How? With swatches torn from old flour sacks. Flour means, you know, flour means the powder which we get from wheat, which we use for making bread. Okay, which we use for making roti. So wherever the flour is kept, that type of sack has been just used to patch up those holes. Mullah Nasiruddin's shirts, some part were torn in near the elbow, and those were patched, those were repaired by cutting sacks, which is used for storing flour. Okay. On his feet, Mullah Nasiruddin slipped a pair of ragged sandals, and he just wore sandal, and those were not good, ragged, those were also torn. Okay, and those were also not good in good condition. That type of slipper Mullah Nasiruddin wore. Okay. When darkness fell, that means when it was evening, he arrived at the rich man's doorstep. So he just appeared at the doorstep of that rich man who invited Mullah Nasiruddin for the dinner. Okay. A servant opened the door. The servant of that person, that means servant of the host, opened the door. What do you want, old man? The servant demanded. The servant asked the mullah, that means asked Mullah Nasiruddin, what do you want here? Why are you here at the doorstep? Your master has invited me to his feast, said the mullah. So mullah answered that your master invited me to the dinner, that's why I am here. The servant peered suspiciously at him. Peered means look closely. Okay. The servant looked very closely to the old man, and with suspicion, that means with doubt in his eyes. Okay. Why doubt? Because this type of person with shabby clothes, shabby look, may not be the guest in this house. That servant thought like this way. And then he said, what? Wait here. Okay. Then he said, what? Wait here. I'll be back in a moment. That means after some time, I'll be back at the doorstep, and I will tell you if you are allowed in the house or not. I am coming from my master. Okay. The servant went in. Went inside the room. Okay. His whispers carried to the door. So whatever he said to his masters, that could be listened by Mullah Nasiruddin. He could listen. What he said? An old beggar man. Oh, my master says he is your guest. So that servant told his master that an old beggar is standing at the door, and he is telling that he is your guest. Say, am I right? Or are you right? The rich man came to the courtyard to take a look. So the rich man, that means that host, came to the courtyard, that means a open place in between houses. Okay, so he came to an open place from where he could see the person standing at the doorstep. Okay, so he came to the courtyard to take a look. Seeing the old man in his ragged clothes, he waved a hand to the servant. So that person could see Mullah Nasiruddin standing at the door with ragged clothes. Okay, then he said something. He gestured something. He showed by waving the hand to his servant. Okay, then went back to join his elegant guest. Then that person entered the inner room where the other guests were present, other elegant guests. Elegant means renowned, elegant means famous. Okay, elegant means rich, where other rich people were present inside the house. There the host went again. The servant returned to the door. The servant now came to Mullah Nasiruddin. My master does not know you, he said. And the servant said, my master does not know you, so how can he invite you? He invited me to his feast, insisted the mullah. Then mullah tried to make the servant convinced that his master invited him positively. That's why he came. The servant laughed. The servant understood that the man was speaking the false word. That man was a liar, he thought. Who thought? The servant. That's why he laughed. Then said, nonsense, invited you. That means whatever you are telling, that is worthless. Master cannot invite you. My master cannot invite you. So invited you. That means he has not invited you. Okay? A ragged old beggar. So master invited a person like you, who are very much poor looking, and all the shirts or all the garments are torn. So my master cannot do such mistake. My master's friends are noblemen and kings. So my master's friends are not like you. They are very aristocratic people, aristocratic persons. Okay? And they are like kings. Be off before I take a stick to you. So go from here, go away from here. Otherwise I will beat you with a stick. Okay? So Mullah Nasiruddin went home. So what could Mullah do? He just went home. That means returned home. He changed into his finest silk garment. Now Mullah Nasiruddin wore very fine silk garment. That means very fine looking, gorgeous looking silk garments. He put his best cap, then took the most good looking cap. Okay, that is best looking cap on his head, and added a handsome high collared coat. He wore one coat that was that the collar of the coat was very high. That means good looking. Okay. He sprinkled rose water on his face and hands. Rose water means, that means fragrance. Okay, fragrance, that means perfume sprayed over face and hands, so that whatever bad odor, whatever bad smell come from our body may not come out. Okay, the good scent, that means perfume, will come out. He combed his beard, so his beard was shabby looking. He also used comb to tidy the beard, to preen the beard. Okay, to preen the beard, he just used comb. We use comb for making our hair good looking. Now Mullah Nasiruddin had beard, Beard, you know, the the hair which is over the face, over the chin. Okay, he used comb to dress up the beard. Smiling to himself, he made his way back to the rich man's house and knocked at the door. Now Mullah Nasiruddin smiled at himself because he dressed up himself so nicely, so gorgeously. He was very much pleased. Okay, whatever he wanted to do, that's why he smiled, and then went to that particular house where he was invited again. Okay, he was invited. He again went to that house where he was invited. This time the servant bowed respectfully and ushered him in. Now the servant did what? Now that servant, particular servant, bowed before Mullah Nasiruddin. That means he saluted Mullah Nasiruddin as because he was dressed up gorgeously, okay, and looked like a rich person. And that servant took Mullah Nasiruddin inside the house as a guest. Welcome, welcome, Mullah Sahib. And the rich man himself showed the Mullah to his special seat at the feast. Now that host welcomed Mullah Nasiruddin. That means he showed the courtesy towards the guest Mullah Nasiruddin. Okay, and showed the best seat and told to be seated. And he requested Mullah to sit on the best seat. The food arrived. Food arrived means the dinner time. Okay, the food was being served. Serve Mullah Nasiruddin first, said the rich man. Now the rich man ordered the servicemen, that means who were serving the food, ordered those people to serve Mullah Nasiruddin first, to serve the food first to Mullah Nasiruddin. Okay, this is one type of honor, showing honor and respect. The Mullah smiled at everyone. Now Mullah Nasiruddin was smiling at everyone. Why? Because they are showing too much respect for wearing those good looking clothes. Okay. Then he began to get busy with his food. Now he started doing something with the food, but he did not eat. He did not eat the food. Started doing something, some other thing. Okay. Hey, hey, cried the guests. Other guests were just observed. Other guests just observed Nasiruddin doing something with the food, and then said, "Hi, hello. What are you doing?" Like this way. "Mullah Sahib, what are you doing?" cried the rich man. And that particular person, rich person, that means host, now shouted at Mullah Nasiruddin, "Well, Mullah Nasiruddin, what are you doing? What type of activities you are showing here?" Why he said so? Because means because Mullah Nasiruddin had begun to spoon the soup over his best cap, because Mullah Nasiruddin started pouring all the soup over his cap. Okay, with the spoon, Mullah Nasiruddin took the soup and started pouring over the cap. He crumbled the bread. Crumble means he destroyed. That means tore. Okay, he tore the bread. Tore the bread with pieces. Tore the bread to pieces. Okay, he tore the bread to pieces and sprinkled the crumbs. Crumbs means those small pieces. He sprinkled, that means sprayed, over his shoulders, on his handsome high-collared coat. Mullah Nasiruddin did what? Tore the bread to pieces, small bits, and now those small piece of bread was sprayed over his shoulder, over his collar. That means he was trying to feed the coat, feed the garment. Okay. He took apart the shish kebab, one particular type of meat. Okay, which is a roasted with iron rod. That is shish kebab. Okay, so shish kebab. So that shish kebab now Mullah Nasruddin took apart means broke into pieces and fed it lovingly to his sleeves. Now he put all those pieces of shish kebab inside the short handle. That means here the sleeves, inside the sleeves he put them. Okay. The mullah replied. Now the mullah replied to the question of the host, what he was doing then. Okay. The host asking, Mullah Sahib, what are you doing? And to answer the question, mullah now told. What told? When I arrived in rags, that means when I arrived here with shabby looking dress, you turned me away. That means you did not receive me. You just made me get out from the door. Now that I am dressed in finery, finery means very good garments. Now when I am dressed in finery, you treat me with honor. Now you are giving so much honor and you are giving tasty food. Clearly it is my clothes you are welcoming. So you are not welcoming me, you are welcoming my clothes. Okay? And not me. So it is only fitting. So it is only suitable. It is very right. What right? That they should eat. They means the garments, the clothes should eat this delightful food. That means this delicious food, tasty food should be eaten by my wares, my garments, my clothes. You have prepared for them and you have not prepared for me. You have prepared a good dish for my clothes. That's why I am feeding these clothes and they are suitable to be fed. Okay? The rich man hung his head in shame. The rich man was very much shamefaced, very much shameful. Now the rich person understood what the mistake he did. Okay? He said, then he told Mullah Nasruddin, Mullah Sahib, forgive me. Forgive means excuse me, forgive me. I was blind. That means I was blind with dress and pomp. Okay? I saw only your clothes. I just tried to look at your clothes and could not recognize the wearer, and who wore the dress I did not see. Who wore that shabby dress I did not see. I just observed, I just looked at those dress. I will never again judge people by how they look. So what type of looking a man has, I won't judge a person any time by look or by the clothes they wear or by the garments. So I won't judge. That means I will never judge a person by look and dress. And in truth means in reality, he never did. He means that host never did this type of mistake. So as he promised to Mullah, that rich man never judged person mistakenly. Okay? Never judge a person by clothes or by appearance. Okay? So this is the whole story. I think you loved this story. There are some word meanings given at the bottom. Okay? Given at the bottom of the pages. Okay? You can study those. And I have written more word meanings for you in my copy. I'll send through Snap. Okay? Now coming to the question answering portion. Those are not so difficult. Very easy. People listened when Nasruddin spoke, because you have to complete. Okay? After because you have to write something. I have written because he chose his words and actions carefully. Nasruddin chose his words and action carefully. That's why people listened when Nasruddin spoke. Okay? So in this way you have to read the whole story and you need to write something of your own. Okay? So for the previous chapter I told all the answers. Now for this chapter I have written everything, but I won't tell you beforehand. You just try yourself. Then if you cannot do, I will help you. Okay? I have written everything for you. The answers are written already, but I won't tell. You just try. Study the story once again and try the answer. Now I am going to teach you a poem which is given at page number 42. Okay, and that is about a boy who actually daydreams. Okay, who actually dreams in the daytime. And the poem is what? I have noodles in my nostrils. Nostril means the hole inside the nose. Two holes are there, so you can see. So these are called nostrils. This is our nose. And the holes inside the nose are called nostrils. Now I have noodles in my nostrils. This is the poem. And who has written this? Ken Nesbitt. So about Ken Nesbitt, I have written. I will send through Snap. Okay, no need to be worried. No need to be worried. I have noodles in my nostrils. I have noodles on my nose. So on my nose, inside my nostrils, there are noodles. There are noodles on my cheeks and chin. So cheek means this part and chin means the lower jaw. Okay, over the lower jaw. So here and there over my face, I can see noodles. They are on my cheeks and chins and dripping down my clothes. And not only on my face, they are dripping over my dress. Okay, noodles are over my dress also, not only on my face. I have got more upon my forehead. So most of the noodles are on my forehead, that means in front of my head. Some are sticking to my neck. You can see neck. Neck means after the head, the lower portion. Okay, between shoulder and between head, the portion is called neck. Here, neck. Okay. So over the neck, the noodles are there. Some are sticking to my neck. It's completely disconcerting. Disconcerting means disturbing. So wherever I can see, everywhere I can see the noodles, and these are very much disturbing. I am a noodle covered wreck. So I am a poor fellow. I have become a very very poor person, very miserable person with this, with covered with lots of noodles over my body. Okay, wreck means a person who is in bad physical condition and bad mental state. That means I am not mentally fit now. I am not physically fit now, as because all over my body there are noodles, noodles, noodles. I can see them on my kneecaps. Kneecap means the front of the knees. In front of knees there are noodles. And I know they are in my shoes. I can see noodles are on my shoes also. Not on, in my shoes. That means inside the shoes. When I stand, they are somewhat squishy. And when I stand over the noodles, they are just sticky, okay, and wet. That is called squishy. And I feel them start to ooze, and they are coming out of my shoes. There are several in my pockets. I can see noodles in my pocket also. There's a handful in my hair, and noodles are over my hair also. And I am pretty sure that some are even in my underwear. And I am doubtful that they have gone inside my underwear also. So try not to do what I did. So I am just watching everywhere noodles, noodles, noodles. Why? Because I have done a mistake. And you never do this type of mistake. So I request you, I advise you, don't do this type of mistake. What I did, that's why I am just watching noodles everywhere. What mistake the boy done? I am a total nincompoop. Nincompoop means a silly person, a foolish person, a stupid person. I am a stupid person. I am a great fool. And I fell asleep at lunch. When the boy was actually eating the lunch, which was what? Which was chicken noodle soup. That time, in the middle of the eating, that boy just fell asleep, and in his dream, he found noodles everywhere, because he was just eating noodles, and during the feeding time, that is during the intake time, he just fell asleep and he could not complete the lunch, and he just was asleep, and that time he dreamed of noodles everywhere. So, and I fell asleep at lunch while eating chicken noodle soup. He was eating chicken noodle soup, and that soup was all over the body because he was at that time. So you have noticed, I think, before sleeping, if you think something deeply during the sleep, you can watch the dream of that thinking. So this happens before sleeping. If you think something deeply in your dream, that will come. Okay, this happens. So the boy was actually eating, and during eating he fell asleep. That's why the dream was of eating noodles, and he, in the dream, he just did not eat. He saw just noodles everywhere, all over the body and body parts. So this is the poem, a very good poem, and I think you understood what is the poem about. Once again, I am just reciting the poem for you, okay? I have noodles in my nostrils, I have noodles on my nose, there are noodles on my cheeks and chin and dripping down my clothes. I have got more upon my forehead, some are sticking to my neck. It's completely disconcerting. I am a noodle covered wreck. I can see them on my kneecaps, and I know they are in my shoes. When I stand, they are somewhat squishy, and I feel them start to ooze. There are several in my pockets. There's handful in my hair, and I'm pretty sure that some are even in my underwear. So try not to do what I did. I'm a total nincompoop, and I fell asleep at lunch while eating chicken noodle soup. Ken Nisbet has written this poem. So this is all for today, dear students. Bye all of you, and have a nice day.